Hey everyone, welcome to this weekend Sidereal Astrology forecast for the 22nd through the 24th of January. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology, very different from mainstream astrology. If you are new to the channel, be sure to click the link up above for more information. All right, so we're in the full moon this weekend. It's all happening in Cancer, which is about our emotional body, reflecting on our past, our family life, our home life. These deep watery energies do tend to come forward during the full moon in Cancer. So it's a good place for the moon to be in. You know, she's in dignity here. Which makes it quite easy to work with the emotional body and again to have that reflective nature. Now with the full moon, it's good to implement that and to apply that into the different areas of our life. So how we can perhaps be more emotional in our relationships, bring more emotion into our work, maybe with our self-improvement or whatever it might be. Now with that, the full moon is going to be squaring up to Mars, so there could be some challenges with this. Usually with this aspect, our emotions can feel quite charged, can feel perhaps quite irritable, and maybe even hasty in that regard. So the challenge of this full moon is how to integrate these emotions into the other areas of our life without going to any extremes, particularly the extremes of Mars, which can be over assertiveness, overconfidence, having the ego get in the way, too much, self-interest, that kind of stuff. So the key with this, and a good way to work with Mars in any square, is to channel it into something productive, or maybe even something like physical exercise. A very good way of especially working with the emotional body when it does have that charged energy of Mars is to get that physical exercise, get that body moving, and that can help to release some of that steam. And it could also be goals. It's an excellent time to pursue our goals and to work hard towards that, in that slow and steady way, of course, because Mars is in Virgo. So it's all about taking these one step at a time sort of approaches to our intentions. Now, it could be partially involving relationships. Mars is making his way into Libra. So especially when it comes to asserting ourselves in our relationships, bringing that extra attention, and again, finding that healthy way to involve our feelings in the process. So that's going to be the high point of the week, which will be on Saturday. Full moon will be at 21:45 Eastern time. And it just so happens that on Saturday, we also have Jupiter conjoining the North Node, which is a very important aspect. And this has been going on for the past couple weeks and will be taking us into February. So with this, it's all about optimism. Jupiter, the planet of expansion, about what's possible, going over the North Node, which is about our life path, about our future intentions, and where we can apply some of these possibilities. So there could be some insights this weekend. A lot of it is still reflective. Jupiter's retrograde, Mercury's retrograde. So there's a lot of this internal process. Again, it's good to be adaptive. It's good to be flexible in this way, but still good for those opportunities. And I think if there's any kind of brainstorming, any type of visualization, thinking positive can be excellent, and implementing it so that it is experimental can be fantastic. So this could be some insights, especially since Mercury is retrograde as well. So that's going to be Saturday, the high points of both of those, full moon and the aspect there. Now approaching that on Friday, we do have Mercury going over Pluto, which is very much like what we were feeling on Wednesday and Thursday leading towards this weekend. Perhaps some intense thoughts, maybe some intense communications. So the key with this is to focus on getting rid of any old modes of thinking that we know are just unhealthy or just no longer serving us, and seeing where we can change, our perhaps perspective and change our routine so that we do have more of that space and we have more of that freedom and liberation there through that transformation process. So it's all about being open to change, and especially about with what we think about and what we're normally involved with, and maybe even how we're communicating. So that's going to be strongly emphasized on Friday, and that will be especially so because the moon will be opposing up to that conjunction. All right, then on Saturday, the full moon and North Node Jupiter, and then on Sunday, Mercury slows down. So when it does come to those communications and thoughts, we'll probably feel the brakes coming on them a little bit. And so with all stationary periods, it is an excellent time to reflect. So as we go into Monday, reflecting on those insights, and again, it's all introverted, right, with the retrograde. So it's good to go within and reflect, especially because we're going to have all this awareness about our past and our emotional body with the full moon. Now, a couple other things I want to mention. The sun is going to be shifting into Capricorn this weekend, so our focus could be shifting towards more of the responsibilities. It is a good time for this, still future oriented, of course, but the more practical, grounded approach to these possibilities could be an excellent way for us to energize ourselves, which is the sun, and perhaps even express ourselves in the process through our creations or whatever it is we might be involved with. Now, Venus went over the galactic center, so our values probably changed since this later part of the week, as well as perhaps even our perspective on relationships. So with all that transformation, things are now coming to a much more expansive part of the chart with Sagittarius involving those values, involving those relationships. So that could be a good energy to work with as we go into next week. All right, so the highlight of the weekend is going to be this full moon, certainly awareness of our feelings and how to integrate those in an active but grounded sort of way with that square up to Mars. Jupiter conjoining the North Node, a great time to brainstorm, reflect, and think about where we want to put that positive energy towards our future life path. And with all this stuff shifting with Mercury over Pluto and slowing down, being reflective, going within, and seeing where there might be some new insights. All right, so I hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all on Monday. Take care.